Do you really think he's freaking out because his name is not on a cup that you get to hold for 10 minutes while you drink a pumpkin spice latte?
What is that supposed to mean?
It's talking about the Starbucks cup controversy.
Oh!
No, I don't think so. I think he cares what's in your heart, not what you're drinking.
I don't have high expectations of Starbucks in that area, so I don't care.
All the Christians I know are just like, I don't even care, so why are you bringing this up?
Why does Christian music always sound like a mixture of like Nickelback and Third Eye Blind?
Yes! Yes! It's like you have a cutout for every song and you just fill in the words, you know? Like, whatever that game is.
I totally agree with that, okay? I kind of have a hard time listening to a lot of Christian music because it all kind of sounds the same sometimes, except for Toby Mac, he's kind of different, so you do you, Toby Mac.
The reason for this is because Nickelback writes the same music over and over and over again. They may sound different from time to time, but it's the same thing over and over and over again. And a lot of Christian bands, that's all they do. All they do is sing about praising God, which is not a bad thing, but people are going to get really tired about it.
I have seen people complain about Christian music before, and I understand because like a lot of it does sound really similar. However, I think they're missing like the context and where you see like a lot of that Christian music being implemented. These words are chosen for like specific reasons so that you can really pray what you're saying, and even though it's can be very repetitive sometime, that's also how prayer is, because sometimes you just have to say like the same things over and over again in order to really mean them and to truly pray them out loud.
Did your devotions actually happen if you didn't post about it on Instagram?
I sometimes wonder about that, but I guess people post online that they're doing that so they feel like the public is watching them and that they have the obligation to actually finish it because they told everybody that they were doing a novena or a devotion to someone.
How come we all love Tim Tebow? I mean, I do love him. I just don't know why.
Maybe because he brought a Broncos team that wasn't doing so well and brought them to the playoffs where he beat the Steelers in overtime, which was pretty awesome. He may not be the best quarterback, but he has had some success.
How's the NFL fan response?
I know.
It is a big deal to stand up in front of that many people and tell them your opinions and beliefs. Any day. So that's a huge deal that someone did that in the NFL now. I remember my mom saying, hey, Teresa, my older sister, you should marry Tim Tebow. And so, well, I guess he's just a cute Christian guy to a lot of people, and that's what got the attention of these girls.
Why can't you just pray? Why does it have to be a prayer and then like someone in the background being like, bing, bow, bow?
That's something I've kind of wondered too. I think it's really good sometimes. There's a lot of things that our words cannot say on their own, but when we unite them with music, we're able to really express what's going on in our souls, and I think that's why music is so beautiful.
Music is a very powerful tool, and it is even said that singing prayers is actually a far more powerful sense of prayer than it is just a talk prayer.
Yeah, how come everyone's still supporting Donald Trump?
Actually, that's a legitimate question because I have no idea. I saw a Donald Trump poster the other day and I literally wanted to puke. So don't look at all Christians that way because, look, no.
The reason why everyone's supporting Donald Trump is because he's not a politician as much as he's a jerk.
They're still supporting Donald Trump because he's very blunt and straightforward, and like he uses all the one-liners that every American wants to hear, or rather the Americans who go by say like, America. Like, we got the flag flying in the front yard, dad's got a shotgun, the daughter can't be out past 12, America. They like to hear their own opinions straight up, straightforward, so they just cut through the rest of the statements that are all complicated coming from all the other candidates.
Why are we so afraid to talk about sex? Sex is good. Have you read Song of Solomon?
Have you read Theology of the Body?
Have you read John Paul's II, Theology of the Body?
I think Theology of the Body answers that question pretty well.
Yes, let's talk about sex. Let me point you to the entire beautiful catechism chapter and the Theology of the Body, all about sex and how wonderful and beautiful it is within the context of marriage as God intended it.
Everyone is not afraid to talk about sex. It's just because of the way society is, they do not want to mix up what true, real sex is compared to what society thinks what sex is.
I do understand My parents were so afraid to talk about it. And I think in recent years with organizations like Life Teen, Jason Everett, Matthew Kelly, there have been so many advances recently where Catholics go out and they talk about sex and they promote it in a positive way because it is such a beautiful thing. It is such a gift from God.
How come we all love Chick-fil-A?
Because I work there. It's really good.
Because they make good food. Duh!
Because it's awesome. Why are you even asking that question? Chick-fil-A is the best. Go and order a 12-piece chicken nuggets with fries and a vanilla milkshake because it's awesome. Chick-fil-A is the best. Like, what kind of a question is that?
It's delicious, and I love the values that the company stands for. I love that they take Sunday off.
I had Chick-fil-A once. It was good. Then I became allergic to gluten, so I don't go anymore.
Why do you think Facebook is an appropriate place to discuss theology?
Because Facebook is a fun place to discuss theology because everyone congregates there. It's the new evangelization, and Pope Benedict wants us to take it to the internet and places where you wouldn't expect to find it. It's the India of today.
I think it's appropriate to be able to discuss theology in every setting. I don't think that something that's so important and relevant to our lives has to be something that has to stay off of our public spaces. Obviously, like going on to Facebook and putting something like very charged out there, like intending to insult people, is not appropriate at all.
Why, when Paul said that we all have our own individual gifts, that we feel the need to fit into this absolutely perfect mold? That's impossible.
Could you be more specific? Because that was really, really vague. It depends on what you mean when you're talking about that. Each person has to be their own individual person. But you're talking about, why does every person have to follow the same morals? Well, are you really asking that question? In that case, talk to a priest. Because you're really annoying me if that's actually the question.
It may sound like Christians are trying to make you get rid of your individuality, but that's not the case because, yes, God has given everybody different gifts and things like that. I would use the example of the angels who have different ranks and different kinds of abilities that they are the best at, that they've been assigned to. But here on earth, we have these different personality traits and these different tendencies that God has been able to take in us if we offer them to Him and use for good through us. We can be His hands and His feet. As Saint Therese said,
why are we as Christians more known by the things we hate than by our acts of love?
The thing is, what do you define as hate? Do you define hate as correcting something that's wrong? Obviously, it can be done in the wrong way, but if you're saying that pointing out an evil is hate, then you need to get a new definition of what hate and love are.
When you're walking in a field and you come up to a fence, you wonder, why is this fence here? And you might get, just tear it down right away before you even know why it's there. And people will obsess over the fact that it's in their way. They won't focus on the beautiful scenery around them in the field and all the flowers. They'll just be like, why is this fence here? And didn't they know there's a big cliff on the other side and they shouldn't have taken it down? And that's how I would describe Christians saying that they hate something. It's more like they don't think that's good for you. You shouldn't eat sand. It's not good for you. So yes, I'm going to yank the sand out of your hand because, hey, I love you and I care about you and I want what's best for you.
We should all be trying to love better. And sometimes love means telling people no when they want to sin.